friends, we are back to read the one and only Ivan. We are coming to the end of our wonderful, wonderful story of Ivan and Ruby, and we talked yesterday about the fact that this will probably only take 2 more readings, so we should be done with the one and only Ivan by Monday. And I did ask you if you were interested in reading a new book, and at this point, because it's a little early in the day, most of you, all of you, said yes. And I've been asking other teachers for recommendations, and right now it's between Third Grade Angels and Fantastic Mr. Fox. So if you read either of those, please let me know, because I'll try to find a different book. But both of those are very well written stories. Third Grade Angels is a story about a third grade classroom and talks a lot about like kindness and the struggle of wondering when you need to be kind. And Fantastic Mr. Fox is a silly story about a fox who is up to no good, and I think we'll probably go with that one because it's one of my favorites from when I was growing up, and it's very, very silly and funny, and it's short, so it could be a good selection for our next month and about a half that we have left of school. So I will let you know, but if you've read either of those books, please let me know in the comment section of our book club so that I can choose a different one. Okay, today we are going to get to the bottom of the one and only Ivan. If you are following along, we are on page 284. And the book finishes, we may finish it today. We'll see. Kenyani ambles towards me. She taps me on the shoulder and Knuckle runs away. I watch her, arms crossed over my chest. I'm careful not to make a sound. I'm not sure what we're doing. She ambles back, shoves me, dashes past, and then I realize what's happening. We're playing tag, and I'm it. Romance. Ooh. Kenyani and Ivan. Make eye contact. Show your form. Strut. Grunt. Throw a stick. Grunt some more. Make some moves. Romance is hard work. It looks so easy on TV. I'm not sure I will ever get the hang of it. He's probably flirting with Kenyani a little bit. More about romance. I wish Bob were here. Me too. I could use some advice. I tried to recall all the romantic movies we watched together. I remember the talking, the hugging, the face licking. I'm not very good at this, but it's fun trying. Is there anything sweeter than the touch of another as she pulls a dead bug from your fur? That's gorilla talk for sure. Talk. Gorillas aren't chatty like humans, prone to gossip and bad jokes. But now and again, we swap a story under the sun. One day, it's my turn. I tell my troop about Mac and Ruby and Bob and Stella and Julia and George, about my mother and father and sister. When I am done, they look away silent. Kenyani moves closer. Her shoulder brushes mine, and we let the sun soak into our fur together. So now we're really seeing that Ivan's being accepted into his troop, and he's telling them about his past, and he's feeling loved and welcomed specifically by Kenyani, and they have some type of relationship forming, which could really make Ivan feel a lot more at home. And we know, as we've been reading, that he's so captivated by romance movies that he used to watch at the Big Top Mall, and all he wanted was to be loved by another gorilla like him. And I think this is something that's very important to him. So we'll keep reading. The top of the hill. I've explored every nook and cranny of this place, except for a hill at the far end where workers have been repairing a wall. They're finally gone. They've left behind fresh white brick and a mound of black dirt. While the others laze in the morning sun, I want to explore the hilltop. They've been there before, and I have not. Everything is still fresh to my eyes. I take my time going uphill, savoring the feel of grass on my knuckles. The breeze carries the shouts of children and the drowsy hum of bumblebees. Near the top of the hill is a low-limbed tree, the kind my sister would have loved. The wall is endless. clean and white, stretching far down the habitats beyond my own. It's high and wide, carefully built to keep us in and others out. This is, after all, still a cage. It rained last night, and the pile of dirt is soft to the touch. I scoop up a handful and breathe in the loomy smell. It's a rich brown color, heavy and cool in my palm, and the wall waits like an endless blank billboard. What do you think he's going to do with that wet, rich brown color of dirt in his palm and this freshly painted white wall? It's a big wall, but it's a big pile of dirt, and I'm a big artist. I slap handfuls of mud on the warm cement. I make a handprint. I tap my nose with a muddy finger. I make a nose print. I slide my palms up and down. The mud is thick and hard to use, but I keep moving and scooping and spreading. I don't know what I'm making, and I don't care. I make swoops and swirls and thick lines, figures and shapes, light and shadow. I'm an artist at work. When I'm done, I step back to admire my work, but it's a large canvas, and I'd like to get a better view. I go to the thick-limbed tree and grab the lowest branch. I try to swing my legs. Oomph! I land hard. I'm too big to climb, I suppose. I try again, and this time I pull myself onto the first limb, gasping for breath. One more limb, two, and I can't go any further. Perched halfway up the tree, I see my troop, still dozing contently. I take in the wall, splattered and splashed with mud. Not much color, but lots of movement. I like it. It feels dreamy and wild, like something Julia might have made. From my seat in the tree, I can see beyond the wall. I see giraffes and hippos. I see deer with legs like delicate twigs. I see a bear snoozing in a hollow log. I see elephants. We're going to stop there today. On 293, I'm going to mark. If you're reading along with me, don't peek. We're going to finish there, and before I let you go, because it's a shorter read today, because I do want to finish, and I have something to share with you on Monday for our final reading, but I do want to talk about where Ivan ended up. So he didn't end up back in the wild, and some of us may feel like that's where he's supposed to be, but I did some research, and I found out that when wild animals are taken from their home when they're babies, it's very, very hard and almost dangerous to bring them back to the wild if they weren't prepared properly for it. So a lot of the time, these animals that were taken for profit, like Mac took Ivan for profit for his mall, these humane societies or these humane people go and they rescue them from these horrible conditions and they bring them to a humane zoo. So although he's in a cage, he's in a huge open space with a troop and a family and mud and dirt and trees and natural elements to simulate what it would be like in the wild. Now remember, his home at the Big Top Mall was a concrete room, probably the size of your bedroom or maybe smaller, and that's where he lived all the time, and he was alone, and he had no one like him there, and he had to put on shows, and it's just not the right way animals should be living. So although he did end up back at a zoo, it is a humane place for him to spend the rest of his life, because if they brought him back to the wild, we're not sure if he would be successful living there. So this is a wonderful place, and this is the best case scenario for Ivan. And he just realized that when he sits on top of a tree, he could see a certain species, elephants. Why do you think that's such great news? Fill out the Google form and let me know if you read any of those books we just talked about before.